Hello, you're watching Proactive. Joining me is Fathom Nickel CEO Ian Fraser. Ian, good to speak with you. You're on with an exploration update from the recent field program at your Gahchager Lake property, which you describe as very productive. Take us through some of the highlights.
Yes, well, thank you, Steve. Yeah, it was very productive. We got an awful lot done in a short period of time. That was we did do a pretty extensive soil geochemical survey, and the purpose for the soil geochem survey is to see if there is a signal over top of this historic deposit, and if there is indeed a signal, then we can use soil geochemistry elsewhere on the property to identify more of these types of deposits. But on a more local scale is having mapped and sampled the outcrop and utilizing the PXRF, the things that we have recognized in our drilling program subsurface, we're seeing the same signals on surface, up to 400 meters to the east-northeast of the historic deposit. So that has really opened up the playing field, if you will. And it's just, the complexity of this thing, and chaos is always good when you're looking for big deposits. And so it's all been very, very good information that we gained from this productive program.
You do highlight the presence of a significant magmatic nickel copper cobalt deposit. Could you expand on that, Ian?
Well, we know now that the historic Gahchager Lake is hosted in a gabbro, and the fact that we're seeing, gabbro being a mafic style of intrusive, and now that we're recognizing that there's something a little bit more ultramafic, that being the pyroxenite, and if there's sufficient sulfur saturation in whether it's a mafic or ultramafic intrusion, they have the potential to host magmatic nickel copper cobalt deposits. So the fact that we're seeing good tenors on surface in an ultramafic rock has sort of expanded the potential here at the Gahchager Lake property.
And you do also note that the scale of the potential is larger than you originally thought, Ian.
Yeah, and that the news release that we put out last week with respect to Mall Lake, which is 10 kilometers southeast of the Gahchager Lake deposit, and the fact that we're recognizing, excuse me, all of the same signals there, and again, that distance of 10 kilometers, and the style of mineralization, the host rock is suggesting a common source. So if there is a common source, and we have two known occurrences, one being a deposit, the other being an occurrence 10 kilometers apart from one another, what lies in between? So this has really sort of opened up the scope and the size and the potential of not only one, we're currently working on the Gahchager Lake deposit, but possibly several of these types of magmatic nickel copper cobalt deposits.
You're now looking forward to your awesome drill program at Gahchager Lake. Ian, take us through what's planned there.
Yeah, well, we're going to get our camp built first, and we're hoping to get started on that the first week of August, and that's going to take roughly 2 weeks to complete. And then we're hoping to, we'll be going through a lot of this data that we've collected. We're going to be putting it into our ongoing three-dimensional model. We'll go through the drill planning stage, and if all things align properly, hope to be drilling by the middle of September.
Well, Ian, I hope you'll keep us posted on any developments. Thank you very much for the update today.
Thank you very much.
That's Ian Fraser, the CEO of Fathom Nickel.